3 chicken breasts here that I have filleted, meaning I have split them in 2 lengthwise, and I have 1 stick of butter. I have 6 cloves of garlic minced. I have 1 small onion that has very small dice, and here I have about a pound of shrimp that have been thawed and peeled and deveined. To spice this up, we're going to use, I have a teaspoon each of sweet paprika, a teaspoon of my Skillet chicken rub, and a teaspoon of my Skillet fish rub. You can use any salt-free or seasoning blend that you choose. You could use some Old Bay in here. I have Old Bay. I'm just going to use my fish seasoning today. And I have 3 lemons, which I'm going to squeeze and use the juice from. Did I say I have a stick of butter also? I'm going to mix up my spices here. And the fish and chicken rub both have salt in them and pepper, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. What I am going to do is I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to season up this chicken without touching it. I'm going to move over to the skillet now. I've got my onions in my butter. I've melted my butter over a medium heat, and I've added my onions, and now I've added my garlic. Now you want to be careful not to scorch any of this. I'm going to put my chicken in the skillet here, spiced side down. So we're just going to let this chicken kind of poach in that butter with the onions and the garlic, and we'll be back when it's time to add the shrimp. Alright, our chicken is cooked through. That took about 9 minutes, and now I'm going to add the lemon juice to the pan, and that is going to cool down the pan just a little bit. That's okay, but I'm going to just take my shrimp and put it in there. I like the shrimp down in that briny, buttery, lemony sauce. Now, I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat down to almost nothing, because this pan has retained quite a bit of heat as we've cooked the chicken. I'm going to pop the lid on it, and I'm going to let this just sit for 3 to 5 minutes so those shrimp are perfectly done. You do not want to overcook your shrimp. We'll be back when the shrimp is done, and then we're going to fix you a plate of this delicious, quick and easy shrimp and chicken scampi skillet. There you have it, a delicious, quick and easy plate of shrimp and chicken skillet scampi. I've just plated this. I've laid the chicken and the shrimp on top of a bed of herbed rice, and I've put a couple of lemon wedges on the side. You want to taste it?
Okay.
Alright. So, we get a perfect bite, right? A shrimp, some rice, a piece of the chicken. Yes?
Mm-hmm. It's really good.
I hope that you give this shrimp and chicken skillet scampi a try. I know you're going to love it. Okay, so we're going to get started. First thing you're going to need is I'm using a half a dozen mild Italian sausage. And that's because I like to season it up myself as far as the heat level goes. Now I've taken these out of the casing, but I left this one in because I want to show you. Just buy regular Italian sausage. Take your very sharp paring knife. If you haven't ever done this before, you just take it out. Now I'm going to preheat my pan. And we're going to use a little bit of olive oil in the pan to brown off the sausage. We're going to cook a pound of rotini pasta. It doesn't have to be rotini. You can use whatever you like. We're also going to use 1 16-ounce bag of broccoli florets. I have 5 cloves of garlic, fresh garlic, that I sliced very thin. We're also going to season this up with some red pepper flake, a little bit of butter to finish off, and some Parmesan cheese. Browned off most of the way that all 6 of those sausage links that we uncased. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle this with some red pepper flakes, and I'm going to toss my garlic in. Now, some recipes that you see that might be similar to this use broccoli rabe, and they saute the garlic and the red pepper flakes first, but truth be told, every time I've ever done that, I've burned the garlic. And there is nothing worse than burnt garlic. And I'm trying to break up my sliced garlic here because I want it to be separate. And you just, there's a little bit of olive oil in the pan that I fried off the sausage in, and you can see there's not a lot of fat in here, so it was a nice lean sausage to begin with. I put about a tablespoon of olive oil in here just to get everything moving. And now the red pepper flakes and the garlic, they're going to hang out here for a few minutes while I finish browning off the meat. And then we have our pasta cooking, and we're going to finish off the dish in just a few minutes when the pasta's drained and everything is ready to come together to this delicious party. So we'll be back in just a minute. Everything is ready to come together now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of ladles of the pasta water in here, just like that. as well as this knob of butter. It's about 2 tablespoons of butter. And get that going. And this is going to be the base of our sauce. You want that butter to melt down. And then while that's working, I'm going to go ahead and stick my colander in my pot here. And I went ahead and I threw my frozen broccoli in the pasta for like the last 3 minutes that the pasta needed to cook. We're going to put a couple of really good handfuls of Parmesan cheese in here. But what's going to happen now, and my pan is turned off, so I'm just using the residual heat, what that was left in the skillet. Mix this all together. There's only one other thing that we add in here. And that's some cracked black pepper. I'm just going to do a few turns, and then everybody can season their own serving as they choose. What we're going to do next is we're going to serve up a plate, and we'll meet you over at the counter, and we'll give this a taste. Here we go. This is our rotini with broccoli and Italian sausage. And the only thing I'm going to do is sprinkle a little more parm on the top and give it a little more cracked black pepper. And we're going to call that supper. So,
looks delicious.
It does look delicious. You're going to find out here in just a second. And get a piece of sausage, and a piece of broccoli. Open. Good?
Tastes even better than it looks.
Incredible. You have to try this. And you'll have leftovers for lunch tomorrow. I hope you try this rotini with Italian sausage and broccoli. And I hope you love it. We're going to go over all of the ingredients for our quick chicken paprika skillet. What I have is 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts that I have filleted. We're also going to be dredging the chicken in a mixture of all-purpose flour. So I have a cup of flour and I have some seasonings. What I have here is a teaspoon each of sweet paprika, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. So that's what we're going to mix with the flour. We're going to put everything in a bag and we're going to give it a good dredge. I have 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of oil melting and heating up in my skillet. And then after we get this dredged, we're going to saute about 4 medium-sized onions. Yes, this has a lot of onions in it, so you can see there's about 4 cups. I filled up a quart jar. We're also going to be using about 4 cloves of garlic. We're going to use 4 cups or 1 quart of chicken stock. And then the best part is sour cream. I have a 16-ounce container of good quality sour cream. I usually only use Daisy brand, and that's what this is. So 2 cups of sour cream, and then to the sour cream we're going to be adding a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour for a thickener. And before we add the creamy stuff, we're going to have to add the paprika because it's chicken paprika. I have 4 tablespoons or a 1/4 cup of good quality sweet paprika. So there's 4 tablespoons of sweet paprika and a teaspoon of salt, because the salt that we put in the flour, not all of it's going to end up in the pan. That's it. We're going to boil off about 1 pound of elbow macaroni. You can make your own homemade gnocchidli or your homemade egg noodles or whatever you want, but this is a weeknight. I want this done quick. I want it on the table sooner than 4 hours from now. So we're going to meet you. I'm going to go ahead and dredge the chicken, and I'll be right back, and we'll go ahead and we'll do that. Okay, I'm just dredging the last 2 pieces of chicken. Pretty sure many of you already know how to do this, but for those of you who've never seen it done, I went ahead and I mixed up my flour and my spices in this bag, and we're just dipping each piece of chicken in here until it gets evenly coated. You don't want it to be too much, you just want it to be just right. So if you feel like you've got a lot of flour on there, then just go ahead and kind of knock it off the best you can. But you don't want it like swimming in flour, just enough to give it a little crisp. And now we're done doing that. I'm gonna meet you over at the stove and we will start browning the chicken off. Okay, we're gonna get started browning off our chicken, and I have my oil and my butter heated in my pan. I have this set over medium heat, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start putting my chicken in there. And you don't need to cook this all the way through right away. You just need to get a good brown on it so that we can, because we'll finish cooking this off later as it simmers in the broth before we make the sauce. So I'll go ahead and I will finish searing these off, and I will bring you back when I take out the last few pieces. This is going to take at least 4 minutes per side, and then you're going to want to flip them. And when they're nice and brown, you'll know it's time to turn them over. So I'll show you what that looks like when we come back. All right, we finished browning off our chicken, and as you can see, it's nice and brown. It's got a little bit of crispness on the outside. Now that's not going to stay because we're going to simmer this in the broth, and it's going to pretty much go away. Now, I'm going to pour off just a little bit of this fat from the pan, only because there's a lot there and we don't need quite that much. There's about a tablespoon left in the pan. I'm going to grab the onions, get those in there, and the garlic. And just go ahead and give these a good saute. Just turn them around in that oil and butter mixture. This is going to help bring all the brown bits up off the bottom of the pan as well, because those are flavor. You don't want to lose those. You want to leave those in. Those are good flavor. Now I'm going to grab the paprika. The last time I made this, I only put 3 tablespoons of paprika in it. When I had my mom taste it, she's like, needs more paprika. So 4 it is, people, 4. It is chicken paprika, after all. Just get that in there. And you really want to toast the paprika because you want to bring out all the flavor. Now, grab your broth. Remember, we have a quart of chicken stock here. And this is exactly what you want it to look like at this point. We're going to return this chicken right back to the pan with the onions and the paprika and the chicken stock. Oh, talk about awesome. I'm so excited for dinner tonight. Bring this to a simmer, and we're gonna let this simmer for just 10 minutes, and then we're gonna come back and we're going to mix up the components that make the creamy sauce. Okay, we have simmered for about 10 minutes, and I've just turned it down to medium from medium-high heat. Now we have to prepare our sour cream mixture, which is over here. I have my sour cream in a measuring cup, and I'm gonna add a quarter of a cup of all-purpose flour. So basically what we're making is a liaison, if you know anything about that, like sauce making and everything else. So the flour and the sour cream is going to make the sauce thick and rich and creamy, and it's gonna be delicious. Now we have to temper our sour cream. Now my sour cream is at room temperature. It's been sitting on my counter for about an hour. And what you want to do is you want to take about a cup of the sauce from the pan that's boiling, and you want to mix it in here with the sour cream. You see how it looks like it's going to curdle? But this is why we're doing this in the measuring cup, which is going to prevent this from curdling in the pan. This is going to help everything in the pan remain nice and creamy. Now I'm going to turn the heat off completely. If I can just tell you, if you could smell this, oh my dear, it is so amazing. It smells just wonderful. Now, you never want to do this when your heat is turned on. Now go ahead and pour your sour cream mixture into your pan. Go ahead and give it a good stir and get everything nice and incorporated with that cream, the sour cream and the flour. And the flour that we put in the sour cream is going to thicken everything up just a little bit and make this sauce silky and smooth, and it's just gonna envelop that chicken. I am actually gonna call this good and finished. Next, we're going to meet you back at the counter, and we're going to serve you a delicious plate of quick and easy chicken paprika skillet supper. Well, there you have it. Our complete chicken paprika skillet dinner is all ready to go. I plated it with our elbow macaroni and some home canned green beans, and just for fun I gave it a sprinkle of black pepper and some additional paprika for color so the pictures would be pretty. You know, we gotta do it. So I could not be more pleased, but just so you'll believe me, I'm gonna make Rick taste it. I mean, he's already tasted it, folks. Oh, there is nothing better. I mean, this is one of those comfort foods from my childhood, and it is just intense and amazing. What do you think, babe? This is simply delicious.
It's so good.
I love it with elbow macaroni, but you can do it with egg noodles or homemade nokkedli, which is a Hungarian egg noodle. It's so good. You're gonna love this.
Knocks it out of the park.
Oh man. This is the perfect ending to a perfect day, and I hope you'll give it a try.